Did Gerrit Cole really hit a minor leaguer on purpose after getting crushed by a home run, or was it just a terrifying coincidence? A rehab outing turned into a controversy shaking baseball debates, with fans split, evidence conflicting, and one pitch that changed everything everyone is still arguing about. Because when you slow it down, one detail doesn't match any accident story, and that's where everything starts to fall apart. Did Gerrit Cole really hit a minor leaguer on purpose just seconds after giving up a crushing home run, or is baseball fans reading way too deep into a simple mistake? What should have been a routine rehab outing suddenly turned into one of the most debated moments in recent minor league history. A top prospect goes deep, Cole looks frustrated, and then the very next at bat, a fastball ends up right on the elbow pad. No clear apology, no visible reaction, just silence. And now the entire baseball world is split between coincidence and cold retaliation. But the real clue isn't the pitch, it's what Cole didn't do right after it. If this was really an accident, the numbers should back it up, but they don't tell a simple story. Gerrit Cole isn't just some wild pitcher losing control in rehab. He's still throwing strikes at an elite level, hitting the zone nearly 80% of the time and barely issuing free passes. That kind of command doesn't usually collapse in a single pitch right after a home run, so the question becomes uncomfortable. How does a pitcher this precise suddenly miss that badly in that exact moment against the same batter who just went deep on him? Because when control is that sharp, one pitch like that stands out for a reason. But what if everyone is overthinking this and the truth is far simpler? Not every controversial pitch hides intent, and even elite pitchers like Gerrit Cole can lose a single location at the worst possible moment. Rehab starts are messy, timing is off, and one missed fastball can suddenly turn into a viral accusation. The batter had just taken him deep. Emotions were high and pressure builds faster than people realize. So is this really a calculated message? Or just a pitcher missing his spot at the exact worst time possible in baseball's most unforgiving sport? Because sometimes the smallest mistake creates the biggest controversy. But the pitch itself isn't the only thing raising eyebrows here, it's what happened right after it. Because if this was truly a mistake, you'd expect confusion, frustration, maybe even a quick reaction from Gerrit Cole. Instead, what we get is something unusually calm. No visible shock, no immediate apology, no emotional spike at all. Just a pitcher turning away and asking for the next baseball like nothing unusual just happened. And that's exactly why fans are now questioning the moment from a completely different angle, not what the pitch did, but what Cole didn't do afterward. Because sometimes, silence says more than the pitch itself. To really understand this moment, you have to step away from just one pitch and look at Gerrit Cole's entire history. Because over more than a decade in the big leagues, he's built a reputation as a pitcher who almost never gives away free bases for nothing. Hit by pitches are rare, reactions are usually sharp, and every mistake tends to look accidental, not calculated. That's why this single rehab moment feels so strange to many fans. It doesn't match the pattern they've seen for years. And when a pitcher breaks character, people start asking very uncomfortable questions. Because patterns don't lie until one moment makes you question everything. In baseball, moments like this don't exist in isolation. They exist inside a long, uncomfortable tradition. For decades, pitchers have been accused of sending messages after being disrespected at the plate, especially after home runs that shift momentum and ego in seconds. Some call it part of the game's unwritten rules, others call it dangerous retaliation disguised as competition. So when Gerrit Cole gives up a massive home run and the very next batter gets hit, fans don't just see one pitch anymore, they see history, culture, and a question baseball has never fully answered. Because in baseball, intent is never just about one moment. But here what makes this situation even more confusing. It didn't happen in a high-stakes MLB game. It happened during a rehab assignment. No playoff pressure, no standings impact, no real competitive consequence at all. Which raises a bigger question. Why would a pitcher with Gerrit Cole's experience risk controversy in a setting that doesn't even matter for wins and losses? That's where the debate splits again. Some say it actually makes intent less likely. Others argue it makes emotion more likely, because there's nothing to hold it back in a low-pressure environment. Because sometimes, the least important games create the most suspicious moments. And after all the replays, all the stats, and all the arguments, we still don't have a clean answer. This is where the story stops being about Gerrit Cole alone and starts becoming about interpretation itself. Was it a split-second mistake from an elite pitcher losing a single pitch at the worst possible time? Or was it something more intentional that baseball simply can't prove on camera? The truth is, both sides have evidence and neither side has certainty. That's why this moment hasn't faded. It keeps getting relitigated every time fans watch that pitch again. Because the more you rewatch it, the less simple it becomes. So after all the angles, stats, and reactions, nothing fully settles the debate. One pitch, one reaction, and a whole baseball world split in two. Accident or intent, the replay keeps dragging people back in, and the biggest question still lingers: what really happened in that moment? Because the more you watch it, the harder it is to believe either side completely.